Anyone know what an IPO is? Hello, Earth to Singapore, anybody in? You're not in, you've gone somewhere else, yeah? That's okay. So IPO is initial public offering. So tonight we're going to be launching a brand new IPO where you can get amazing returns. But to get good returns, you have to understand how an IPO works. And you have to understand basically 3 fundamental reasons why an IPO would grow very fast. So one of those reasons an IPO grows big is because it has patented technology. Are we on the same page here? Yeah. So basically, every tech element of a company is now more important than any other time in history because tech basically drives now a business to a new level because it drives a business globally. This makes sense, everybody? Yep. So you have to have patented technology. Next, you have to have a unique product that no one else can really copy very easily. Something so unique that it's going to take a long time for people to get anywhere near it. Now, I've been developing this with my team of fantastic people. I've been developing this product for 8 years to get to this stage we are at today. Now, the concept is, think of Shark Tank meets The Apprentice. Has anyone seen Shark Tank? Have you seen Dragon's Den? Have you seen Kickstarter? Have you seen anything? So, what we do is we fund entrepreneurs. Now, is anybody interested in being funded to be an entrepreneur? Do you know anybody that would be interested in being funded as an entrepreneur? Hello? Yes, thank you. Because without funding, businesses cannot start. Agreed? But most importantly, without the right mentoring and training, businesses will not grow at all. And most businesses actually fail in the first year. Completely fail. The reason they fail is, I'll talk about it later, but basically because they make a lot of mistakes because they don't know how to do it. Now, the other fundamental in making sure you get a great IPO is to get great shares that are asset-backed. Now, does anyone know what I mean when I say asset-backed shares? Hello? You don't know? Good, I'll tell you. So if you buy a share from a company like Apple, you buy into the company. You buy the equity of the company. When you buy a share with an asset attached to it, such as a property, you have more security. Would you agree with me, everybody? Yeah. Right. So therefore, your risk is reduced. Now, when you buy shares in the rich list, your share is asset-backed with businesses and also property, because I'm a big property guy. Last year, we bought 115 properties, which I'll share with you later on. The next thing you need is you need to have a dividend. Now, does everyone know what a dividend is? Hello? So for the people that don't know, we don't want to stick their hand up, that's okay. A dividend is basically cash flow, right? The strength of the dividend depends on the strength of the profit of the company. And also the assets behind it, and also the people behind the assets. Now tonight, I've got a really amazing deal on for the first people into this IPO. And the cash flow is up to 12% per annum, which we pay quarterly, which I'll talk about that in more detail later. Now, what you've got to think about is, if you have money in the bank right now, what return are you getting? Well, basically negative, because if you factor inflation, especially in Singapore, it's negative. But on the surface, it's like 0.5%, 1%, which is not going to give you anything to write home about. All right? So, is the bank giving you an asset? No, it's not an asset at all. So, let's talk about what we've got today. So, I'll tell you a little bit about me. Anyone heard of me? Not heard of me? You've not heard of me? Good, the rest of you heard of me. That makes my life so much easier then. So, I'll take it into account that none of you have heard of me. So, my name is Marco Robinson. I have been awarded a Dato Seri. Pretty cool, right? I was winner of the People's Choice iProperty Best Real Estate Investment Company last year. Pretty good, right? Right, so this is something, as an investor, if you're going to invest tonight, you need to understand the people behind it. Now, this is an email from UBP. Anyone heard of this private bank? UBP just bought over Coutts Bank in England. They are the most capitalized private bank in the world. Now, in Singapore, to be an accredited investor and be MAS approved, you have to prove a net worth of more than $2 million. Everybody with me on this? Right, so this email proves that I am an accredited investor. It says that we've been able to evidence your AI status. The account opening is approved. She'll open next week. And this is me telling Prad, Malvin's going to send you the retail sales value of the 50 apartments to prove they have more than 2 million equity. It's about 6 million. So altogether, we have about 20 million pounds worth of assets that we've actually put into this rich list today. So does that give you a little bit more peace of mind of who's talking to you today? Yes or yes? Okay. So I have a company in Singapore. I have actually 2 companies in Singapore. I have many companies in England and all over the world. Marco Robinson Peachy has $1 million paid up capital. It's been going now for 6 years. It's a very strong company. Track record last year in property, it's actually 115. So I purchased 115, about 10 million pounds worth of assets, 40% worth of equity. That could be checked with Field Fisher solicitors in the UK just to back that information up. That company, the property company, went from 1 million pounds of assets to 6 million pounds of assets in 1 year. Now, I'm not sharing this to boast at all. What I'm doing is I'm sharing it to basically give you the message that the person speaking to you has got a track record. The company speaking to you has got a track record. It's very important as an investor you're aware of that. Right, this is me in the Daily Mail. I'm giving one of my properties away this year. I do that now and again. It's a publicity stunt, but it gets a lot of attention. And what we're able to do with marketing and advertising is we're able to get a lot of attention. We're able to sell a lot of products. We're able to attract a lot of investors. And we give our investors better returns because of it. This is the best real estate investment company from iProperty. That was last year that we won. This is to prove that we are FCA regulated. Anyone heard of FCA? That's in the UK. It's like the MAS Singapore. These are the properties that we bought last year. So these are apartment blocks. There's about 115 units altogether. We also buy land. So we buy land with planning permission. By the way, that's the best kind of land you can get. Now, can anyone tell me what's happening with Singapore property right now? Have you just arrived? You don't know what you're doing here. What? What's happening with Singapore property? Yeah, it's basically, there's been a big slump since 2013, 14, and there's going to be another 2 years really before it starts to pick up again. So right now, you're not going to get much investment return on property in Singapore. Would you all agree with me? Yes. Right? Now, I've been in Singapore now for the last 10 years predicting the markets all over the world. Never got it wrong. And my investors, I have a lot of Singapore investors, have really benefited from that education because it's allowed them to buy and sell at the right time. Now, as we know, Singapore property is very expensive. Agreed? Yes. And the cash flow is very low. Agreed? Yes. So what you have to do with Singapore property is you have to go when it's growing. That's the best time to do it. Now, the great thing about this company is that it's our company, it's my company. We buy properties and land, and then when you own the shares, you own a collective amount of properties as well. This is me in the newspaper quite often. That's me, Robbie Fowler. I own a restaurant called Naked, by the way. That's in KL, and now it's franchised. We won the best Tatler's Best Restaurants 2015. Pretty cool, right? And also, we've just launched a cosmetics company called NKDB. So when you came in the door today, you've got a bag, and you've got vouchers there. So one of your vouchers is to buy cosmetics, gentlemen. Not for your own face, maybe for your wife's or girlfriend, right? Or somebody else's wife. So those companies are real companies and are owned by the rich list. So that means you're buying a business as an asset as well. Now, also I'm a #1 best-selling author, so I've got a copy of my book there, my first book, that you're going to get a copy of tonight, just for coming. This is my second book, The Financial Freedom Guarantee. That's now a #1 bestseller also. So just giving you my track record, that I am very in the public eye, done quite a lot of stuff, and I help thousands of people basically become financially free. Now, who is interested in learning how to make a lot more money tonight? Just checking you're in the right room. Because some people are not talking, they're sleeping already. Okay, so if you're interested in doing that, the next question is, what kind of return are you looking at for your money? What kind of return are you getting now for your money? Are you getting a good return now, enough to basically start working? Okay? I also do a lot for charity. When you've got money, you can help people that are underprivileged a lot more, a lot faster. So, for example, one of the things I did last year was to help get guide dogs into Malaysia. Because guide dogs were not allowed in Malaysia at all. They were not allowed in public places at all. So I did a video with the guy on the left called Jason Lim. We did a video, it went viral, got 10 million hits. And then all the shopping malls let the guide dogs in, and the Prime Minister called us up and said, okay, we'll let the guide dogs, and that was a fantastic thing to do. So that's just one of the things you can do when you're a philanthropist. You can do things like that. This is my son, who's a racing driver. Where is he? He's there at the back. He's actually here today. He's at the back. Now, Saul is 16 years old, and my restaurant, Naked, sponsors his go-kart. So he's a karter. Every F1 driver starts racing by go-karting. Every single F1 driver. It costs. Does anyone know how much it costs to be an F1 driver? I wish. To buy a seat. By the way, only the top 5 drivers in F1 get paid. So the rest of the drivers, they have to buy a seat in that team for the year. Costs around £20 million. So one of the reasons that motivates me is to get him into F1. So I have to really hustle and work my ass off still, because when I was a kid, I had no money, my parents had nothing, and I couldn't do anything like that. So as a father, it's great to be able to help your children fulfill a dream that you couldn't do as a kid. Does that make sense or not? Yeah. So here's the concept. The rich list is about funding entrepreneurs, and it's also about training them to be successful in business so they don't fail. A lot of companies like Kickstarter, I talked about earlier, they give the money, but they don't train the entrepreneur to be successful in business, because it takes a lot of disciplines to be able to make that business successful short-term, medium-term, and long-term. Would you all agree with me, everybody? So if you think about an idea that disrupts the status quo, you've heard of Kickstarter. Has anyone heard of Uber? How successful is Uber? Does anyone know how Uber started? Would you like me to tell you? One guy was on holiday in Paris, waiting for a taxi on the Champs-Élysées. His friend was with him, who was French, and he said to his friend, wow, it's so hard to get a taxi in France. It's so difficult, I can't get a taxi. They waited 2 hours, couldn't get a taxi. So I had an idea. Why don't I develop an app so the taxi comes to me? That's how it started. Now that was 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago. That company's now worth $50 billion. Now, has anyone heard of Airbnb? Has anyone used Airbnb? Do you like it? Is it good? Yeah. Which country? In Australia. Good. Is it cheaper than a hotel? Yeah. Yes. Airbnb, similar story. 2 guys owned a house. They were very poor, and they wanted to rent the front room out. So they decided, okay, we'll take the sofa out and we'll put an airbed, like an airbed on the floor, right? So the first night they made $80 from the room rental. That was 4.5 years ago. Then they said, we can do this in other houses. So they built a website, and they got other people to put their front rooms on the website. But it wasn't growing very fast, and they found out that they weren't putting very good pictures of the houses on the website. So they went around and photographed all the houses in New York, then put them on the website, then it grew, and it still wasn't growing fast, and they found out that people were worried that strangers were staying in their house without any identity or security. So they made the customer use their passport and credit card to ID them before they booked it. That company is now worth how much? Anyone know? It's worth $15 billion. Now, these are ideas that started a very short time ago, okay? And what you've got to understand is these ideas are what we call disruptors. Does anyone know what a disruptor is? Hello? It's something that completely changes the way people do things. So now, when you think about a taxi, you don't think about walking on the road. You think about going on your app, getting a taxi that way. Completely changes the way people do things. So, each funded entrepreneur will benefit from a new cryptocurrency powered by blockchain technology. Has anyone heard of blockchain? Yes? Yes. What do you think? What do you know about it?
Something new.
Yes.
Independently.
Yes. Basically, blockchain is a brand new way that people pay for things online. It's basically an indelible way to verify someone's identity and prevent fraud 100%. Now, the banks, all of the banks, have invested hundreds of billions of dollars in this technology. So this technology is what powers a part of the rich list. So it's a banking disruptor. And how it works, if you want to send money from A to B, the transaction is represented online as a block. 3, the block is broadcast to every party in the network. So there might be 5 or 6 people there. Number 4, those in the network approve the transaction is valid. 5, the block then can be added to the chain, which provides an indelible and transparent record of transactions. The money moves then from A to B. That's a very simple way of explaining the technology. Now, the rich list contains a cryptocurrency. Does anyone know what a cryptocurrency is? Anyone heard of Bitcoin? Right. Does anyone know what Bitcoin was worth when it launched? Sorry? Yes. Do you know what it's worth now? $1,200 per coin. Right? That's how fast it grew. Now, we have a cryptocurrency called naked dollars, NKD dollar. That is our technology that we have patented, which is driving loyalty to the rich list. So when an entrepreneur, we give them money, and they invent a product to get handbags delivered to your door, for example. All right? When a customer buys a handbag from you, they get naked dollars rewarded to them, and they earn those dollars, and then they can spend them on other products around the world, the products that people use the most. Does that make sense, everybody? Let me show you more details. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that uses cryptography for security and anti-counterfeiting measures. The first cryptocurrency to be created was Bitcoin in 2009. The value of that is not tied to any country or central bank. The value is driven only by supply and demand. Now, this is an old information, so it's worth 1 cent, now it's worth $1,200. So can everyone see that the rich list is actually a very unique technology that we're using? Hello? So let's take one surprising example of an IPO in Singapore. Now, has anyone here ever seen an IPO in Singapore? Has anyone here ever invested in one? Talk to me, anyone? Initial public offering. So I'll tell you one surprising one. Anyone heard of Manulife? So Manulife is a big insurance company, very boring products. Okay? So they launched a REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. They launched that in 2015 when the market was really bad in Singapore. Their initial valuation was $440 million. They listed on the SGX, pre-seed 440. They raised $50 million within 12 months. And then they IPO'd. Interesting? Another example. Anyone heard of GoPro? GoPro? It's like a camera that's very close up. You can wear it. Yeah? So the initial investment in that was $200,000 US. Pre-IPO, they raised 3.4 million, went to the NASDAQ, now $2 billion. That was in 2 years. Another one, RedX Pharma, biotech company. This is in the UK. Initial capital, 3.1 million syndicated. Pre-IPO, 9.4. IPO, 15 million. So basically, if you bought there, if you put capital in there, you would have made 5 times your money overnight. Can anyone see the value of investing in a proper funded IPO? Hello? Next, Australia, called Redbubble, online platform for independent artists to sell homemade crafts. Initial capital, 12 million Australian. Pre-IPO, 40 million. IPO, 300 million. Right? 9 times your investment in overnight. Next example, a company called Tube Mogul in America, online video branding software. $5 per share pre-IPO. IPO opening price $7, current stock price $22, profit 222%. Have I got your attention now, guys? Hello? Yes. Okay, good, because I was getting a bit worried then. You'd eaten too many meatballs. So, Twilio, mobile messaging service provider, $15 per share pre-IPO. IPO opening price $26, NYSE now $37. That's 150% return on your money. Zendesk, anyone heard of Zendesk? Zendesk is a very popular software customer service program. Pre-IPO, $8 a share, $11 then, went to 24, 170%. So basically, I'm being very realistic when I say that you can quadruple your money in the next 18 months to 2 years with this IPO that I'm sharing with you today. And actually, we've already raised nearly £1 million at this moment. We raised that £1 million from people that I know who've invested with me before. Have I got your attention? Yes. Good! Finally! So, what am I offering today? The new Rich List offers IPO Class A shares. Does anyone know the value of a Class A share? There are different types of shares you can buy in companies. The best shares are the shares that you have voting rights for. They are the best level of shares. The best shares are where you get dividends paid annually. Most shareholders don't get that class of share. The best shares are when the share is asset-backed. So when you sell the share, basically you're not going to lose because it's asset-backed with properties and businesses. They're already overvalued more than what you paid for the share, if that makes sense. Yeah? So, the first declared assets that we're putting into the company is $10 million. About £5 million. Okay? So basically, when you invest today, you're already making 3 or 4 times your money in terms of what the assets are valued at. Now, I'm going to give you 10% returns annually, and I'm going to pay that quarterly to you. Tax-free. Anyone like that? Right. That would be for a single IPO. And our first IPO market is the London Stock Exchange, AIM. The next one would be Australia and Singapore. After that, NYSE. So you can invest in a single IPO today, or you can invest in an IPO Pro, where you can take that IPO into 2 or 3 markets. If you invest in an IPO Pro, I'm going to give you 12% tax-free returns annually paid quarterly. Anyone like the sound of that? Yeah. Hello? Anybody in? Hello? Good. So also, when you join today as an IPO investor, you have different income streams, which I'll share with you later. But basically, you have a network of entrepreneurs that are going to create new businesses. They're going to get entrepreneur affiliates in their team, and they're going to go globally to sell more products and services, which means you'll get an income from that because you're a shareholder. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Fantastic. So you'll have entrepreneurs basically all over the world in every market. And what they'll be doing first is they'll be selling the naked dollar products. I'm going to share with you those in a minute. And then they're going to be basically putting their own businesses into that loyalty platform. So this is the age of the entrepreneur. Would you all agree, ladies and gentlemen? Why? Why is that the case? Globalization, transparency. It's also to do with technology. So if we look at this, this is the worst time to have a job in the world. The worst time. Anyone tell me why?
Just obey boss.
Yes. It's the worst time because robots and artificial intelligence are replacing human beings like you would not believe. It is factored in that 50% of blue-collar workers will be replaced within the next 5 years to 10 years. Number two, the age of gold watches and retirement years have vanished. People aren't keeping their jobs very long. Most manufacturing workers have been replaced by robots and now artificial intelligence. And a law firm has just hired their first artificially intelligent lawyer. Can you imagine a lawyer that's artificially intelligent? Programmed lawyer, knows every case in history. Not going to lose a case, I don't think, very easily, right? So let's consider this. Adam Robinson is no relation of mine, but he said at least half the jobs in today's economy are at risk from being taken over by robots and artificial intelligence within the next 5 to 10 years. What this means for people who don't change the way they earn their income is that in the not too distant future, you're going to have a lot of people or a lot of leisure time on your hands. The question is whether or not you'll be able to afford it. So basically, worst time to have a job. Out of every 100 people who finish work after 40 years, this is a statistic from the United States Welfare Department, one of them is financially free out of 100 people. 4 are still working because they have to. 36 people are dead. When they reach 65, they die. Because they've been working for 45 years, it's the first day off, and they die. Gone. Okay? 59 are dead broke. 59 are dead broke. So, this is the history of the entrepreneur. So we started as hunters, growers. We fought for food, we became warriors. We, fought other people. We became skilled. We explored the world, and we raped and pillaged and found faraway lands, and we traded, found goods to trade. Then the Industrial Revolution, then the oil drilling, then the big corporations and the big banks, and now we have the startup founder. So the startup founder is making useful things faster than a corporation. So if you are an entrepreneur, you're able to move faster because there's not as many decision-making process. You're able to move more creatively, and you're able to go to different markets very easily. Agreed? Agreed? Great. So the reason that entrepreneurs fail is 2 reasons. Number 1, a lack of capital. Number 2, a lack of business experience, primarily in marketing the business. So if you speak to anyone, does anyone here own their own business? Some people are not sure. That's not a good sign. How difficult is it to own a business? He said it's easy. I like it. Why? Yes. So you're in a simple business. How many years have you been going? 20 years. So now it's easy. When you started, was it easy? Really? Wow. I like it. Cheap rent, he said. Anyone here that found it difficult when they started? No? Do you think it's more difficult now to start a business or 20 years ago? No. Why? Because it's more competitive, agreed? So, if you get your advertising wrong, because that's very expensive to do that. If you put an advert in the New Straits Times in Singapore, how expensive is that? Very expensive. You make a mistake, get the wrong message, you could bankrupt your company. Now, this is showing you that productivity and employment are not the same now than when they used to be. So, productivity in digital companies is improving, but employment is shrinking. Does that make sense, everybody? Yeah. So what's happening is people are losing their jobs more than any other time in history. So therefore, to be successful in business, you have to have a business that is technology orientated. These are the people earning less money than they were 2 years ago. And it's showing you there, no business is too big to fail or too small to succeed. So 35%, 45% fail, over 70% fail, expected to fail when they start. US-based businesses, the reason why they fail, 46% fail because of lack of marketing knowledge, 30% fail because of cash flow, 11% fail because of advertising mistakes. Now, when you start a business, is it better to have training from people that are successful in business? Yes or no? Yes. That really makes the difference between success and failure. Having a mentor that's been there and can teach you how to do it, right? You could teach other people to do it, right? Yes? See? Because he said it's easy now. Because when you've done something so many times, it becomes easier. So, the success of any business is really about the strength of the value proposition to the customer, how it can help them, and how it can keep rewarding them. So, any funded business is affiliated to a loyalty program with proprietary technology. Now, does anyone know what proprietary technology is? It's our own unique technology. So that means we have an edge, a competitive advantage in the marketplace because we have proprietary technology. Now that means customers get rewarded by naked dollars, which is a cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency that we've developed. And that enables the most incredible customer reward program the world's ever seen. So every new entrepreneur plugs into and grows their sales. So the new rich list owns all of the following companies. As a shareholder, you will own them too. So let's ask you all a question. Can anyone tell me the most popular products that people spend money on in the world? Communication, yeah. What else? You've used Airbnb, remember that? So would you think that travel is a big part of people's lives? Yeah. So $7 trillion spent in 2015. Now, we own a company called Naked Travel. You don't have to wear your clothes when you go, it's okay. It's very sexy. Now, we have licenses from Atoll and Apta. One free holiday, 1 to 6 nights. So I am able to give you, as a business person, I'm able to give each of you in this room a 6-night holiday for free.
That's good. Thank you.
Can we have a round of applause for that? And you don't have to buy anything. I'm still giving that to you. Now, if you went out and bought something such as, I don't know, you went out and had dinner. Well, if you went out and had dinner, and then after dinner they gave you a one-night free hotel stay, how would you feel?
Good.
Right. If somebody bought a hand phone and they got a 7-day holiday, how would they feel?
Oh, good.
Hello?
Yes.
Right. So can everybody see the value of having a very, very powerful loyalty program? And the benefit to any new entrepreneur coming in is when they sell their products, people earn those naked dollars, which means they can travel cheaper and eat cheaper anywhere in the world. Right? Next, cosmetics. Now, are there any ladies in the room tonight? Do you wear makeup? Are there any gentlemen that wear makeup tonight? Perhaps I'm asking the wrong question. Right? So cosmetics is a $100 billion business. So we own a company called NKDB, Fourth Base Cosmetics. You have a voucher in your bag. Can you show me the voucher? The makeup, NKDB, the black one, yeah? So here you've got 30% discount on any makeup product. I'm just giving you that tonight, just for coming along. So you can go to you can go to the retail, go to the shop, and you can use this voucher and get 30% off the price straight away. Good? Right. Now that's a gift from me, but just imagine if you were an entrepreneur and you just started a business and you were able to give these vouchers away. You think more people would buy your products? Right, so that's what the rich list is all about. Sorry, ma'am, I don't need any makeup yet. I don't think. Okay, so this is the brand that we've just launched. Not tested on animals, paraben-free, non-cardiogenic. A lot of guys won't know what that means, but I've learned it. I'm not a woman, but I know those things now. Which means the makeup's all natural, it's fantastic to wear, and it took a lot of time to get that together. Right, food and beverage, gastronomy. $10 trillion spent on food, eating out last year. That's just in Singapore. No, I'm joking. Okay? So we own a restaurant group called Naked Restaurants. No need to wear clothes.
Yeah, there's one in Japan.
There's one in Japan where you don't wear any clothes. Have you been there? You're joking! I don't believe you! You seem to know a lot about naked dining, sir. Now, this restaurant, you don't have to, not wear clothes. You can go with your clothes on. It's okay. Don't worry, guys. But the point is, everybody eats out. Everybody eats out once or twice a week. Okay? We have thousands of affiliate restaurants around the world. So anyone can use those restaurants and earn their naked dollars and spend their naked dollars. So when you go into a restaurant, wouldn't it be nice to know you can actually use your naked dollar cryptocurrency to pay for dinner?
Yes.
Is that powerful or not?
Yes.
Very powerful. Entertainment, $10 trillion spent last year in entertainment. Entertainment means going out to the theater, going to the movies, anything like that. So we own a company called the Naked Film Foundation. We actually fund films. And also, a lot of people think that independent films are very small. Independent films now are outgrowing Hollywood studios. Those are the statistics there. This is a film that we funded this year. It's called Rain Dogs. It's not been released yet, don't worry. It is starring Rutger Hauer, Mickey Rourke, Ethan Hawke, a lot of famous Hollywood actors. So we were able to raise €2 million to make that film. When you invest in a film, you get lots of return on that film when it does well, because you've got DVD sales, you've got Netflix sales, you've got online sales, you've got country license sales, lots of things like that. So when you invest as a shareholder, you also get the benefits of being able to invest in films. Does that sound sexy?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Whoops. So, that's me in the next film. So, anyone, if you want to be in a film, you can do that, or you can invest in a film. That's a film about the true story of Vladimir Putin's rise to power in Russia. True story. Property and investment. Would you agree with me that people buy property? Would you agree that people rent property?
Yes.
So, we own a company called Freedom Investor, and you can use your naked dollars to buy a property, or rent, or get some discount from it. It depends what level it is. So the rich list owns all of those properties that I showed you before. As a shareholder, you will own them too, a collective group of performing properties that continue to grow in value, enhancing your share price and value. Now, would you all agree with me that if you're going to buy a share, would you prefer that share to own assets? Hello, good evening.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, then you appreciate.
It appreciates.
Guarantee.
You've got equity and you've got property and you've got businesses that are doing well. So this is the best type of share that you can invest in. This is showing you a bit more about that company. Wine. Does anyone drink wine? You do everything. You got a vineyard?
Yeah.
So have we.
Yeah.
Where's your vineyard?
Margaret River.
Margaret River, Australia, Perth. Yeah. Ours is in Italy. Where is it in Italy, Stuart?
Piemonte. Piemonte.
He knows. I'm impressed. So we can do a deal on wine.
Okay, we can do it.
We own a company called Naked Vinny. I'm not joking. You know, some of the best deals I make are in seminars like this. You may laugh.
But Piemonte produce a lot of sweet wine.
They do.
Lambrusco.
Lambrusco is very popular in England.
But it's guaranteed.
Yes. But not a lot of people know that, correct. Anyway, we digress, right? So what I'm saying is the Rich List owns Naked Vinny Wines. Now, Naked Vinny Wines deliver wine to your door in the UK. And we're looking for affiliates to go worldwide. So you could be one of our partners, which we'd be very honored by. And then if you sell your wine through us, your clients get naked dollars. We can work together. I don't know him before. It's okay. I'm not joking. Personal development. How many people today are looking to invest in education to improve themselves? Hello? Has anyone in this room been to a seminar in the last year? Has anyone in this room invested in any personal growth education in the last year? Then you know what I mean. Nearly $1 trillion spent last year, right? So I have my own academy where, we do lots of classes like property investment, personal development, all that kind of stuff. So every new funded business is freely enrolled into Naked Loyalty where they can spend the naked dollars. Naked Loyalty, using unique technology where you're able to track every customer's spending habits from their exact spend down to their exact usage of every product in your portfolio. That's very powerful. So our software tracks spending habits from customers. Naked Earn, you earn naked dollars in all those things I've been talking about, and then you can spend them in all those things we've been talking about. Funding. So every wannabe entrepreneur that joins the Rich List will be given the opportunity to be funded. Now, how many businesses do you think would like to be funded? Hello? Earth to Singapore. Come in, Singapore. Hang on, I'm going to talk to the wall for a minute, yeah? Hello! Yeah, I'm great. How are you? Fantastic, thank you. The wall is more responsive. So seriously, right, is it easy to get a bank loan? No, it's not. Banks are not giving money out. They're not lending for businesses. So a lot of people that want to be business people can't get the capital. So what we do is we get the capital and we fund them. But before we fund an entrepreneur, we train them. We test them. We challenge them to learn the disciplines of being a successful business person. Now, who would like, in this room, who would like to invest in a business where that business turns into an Uber? Is that a silly question? So as an angel investor today, you're able to get first moving on any business that we fund. So you can say, right, I've got my shareholder. Now I'd like to invest in his business because he's ready to go with it. It's a great idea. So you have first right to invest as an equity shareholder. Is that a good idea? Very sexy, very powerful, guys. All right? So, funding qualifiers. Technology is something a lot of people don't understand. So what we do is we provide a platform for people to develop the technology for their business when they join the Rich List. We also help them develop a target market for their business, which might be locally, which might be internationally, because we have an existing database of qualified customers. Now, is it important to have a database? Yes or yes? Of course it is, because without a database, you've got no customers. And if you've got no customers, you have to spend a lot of money and invest to find those customers. So because we have over 50,000 customers spending all the time, they trust us, they know us. Any new product we bring into them, they buy it because we give them a great value proposition. And next is we develop the brand. You've got to have a great brand. Can anyone tell me why you have to have a good brand? Why is a brand important? Builds confidence. Trust. So when you see a logo like that, you know exactly what it is. That's the strength of a brand. And that's how you make a lot of money. So first level funding, what we're doing today is we are inviting angel investors. Now, who is interested in becoming an angel investor, having an asset-backed share, voting rights, and a dividend of 12%? Nobody? Then you better leave and go somewhere else. This is not for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you that opportunity in a minute. Of course, it depends on the investment sum. I understand that. All right? So that's what we're offering. We're offering also IPO lock-in. That means we're going to be IPOing the Rich List within 18 months to 2 years. So when you join today, you'll be locked into an IPO share opportunity. Is that powerful? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Also, you'll be able to take equity in any qualified new business from the Rich List entrepreneur, which means you've got first mover rights. Now, all angel investors are invited to our investment panel, which means you might want to be on our advisory panel, where you can meet the entrepreneurs, you can maybe train a little bit, you can inspire them, but also you can see what's going on within the company. Second level funding for entrepreneurs. 25% of the profit of the company is used as investment capital for qualifying entrepreneurs. So that means we've always got capital to fund any new business. The first stock exchange we're going to launch on is the AIM, the London Stock Exchange. Has anyone heard of that? Yes? The AIM has been a very powerful platform for new companies to launch their IPO and seen much profit. It's the best place to start. Then we're going to be Australia, Singapore, and then the New York Stock Exchange. So there's two ways to get in today. You can start as a single level angel investor and go for one market IPO, or you can go for an IPO Pro, which is 3 or 4 IPOs. So initial public offering, if you want to double, triple, or quadruple, I'm being very conservative also there. But I'm also saying on the other side that it might not do that. It might not do that. So you've got to be able to have an exit strategy. Is that important? Yes or yes? Hello? So the exit strategy we have for you today is, after 3 years, we have a buyback guarantee at the price you paid for your shares. So you have an exit strategy. That makes sense, everybody? Yes. So the risk is extremely small. Now, this is the story of a man called Jan Koum. Anyone heard of him? Does anyone use WhatsApp? So he's the inventor of WhatsApp, right? Now, he was born in 1976 in Ukraine, Eastern Europe. He came to the United States with his mum at 16, worked as a cleaner. Then at 18, he learned to code. Then he starts college, hated college, dropped out of college, right? Then he started working for Yahoo when he was 21. When he was 32, he founded WhatsApp. 6 months later, he thought about finishing it. Then, at 37, he sold WhatsApp to Facebook for $19 billion. Is that interesting?
Yes.
Fantastic, inspirational story, right? And $19 billion is 1/10 of Ukraine's GDP. So he was a school dropout and then ended up generating more than 1/10 of his country's GDP. Amazing story, guys. The reason I'm doing this rich list is because I am going to make the odds smaller for us to get those kind of businesses. This is why I'm doing this, because this inspires me. And if you can imagine that you can fund a guy like that, if you could fund a guy like that, and that turns out to be that success story, how would you feel?
Great.
This is why I'm doing this. Because right now, guys, this is happening. But the problem is, people don't know how to find those entrepreneurs. And the Rich List is a vehicle to find those entrepreneurs and fund them. So, what we do is we mentor any new person coming into the Rich List. They pay a registration fee, so we make income from people who are new entrepreneurs. They have to pay to be trained, okay? And we teach the entrepreneurs a lot of disciplines, such as vision, pitching, concept, products, financing, plan, leading, the business plan, selling, technology, strategy, branding, design, value proposition, product development, blah, 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 blah. There's literally hundreds of disciplines that we teach the entrepreneur. And the more qualified they are, the faster they learn, and we don't teach them in a classroom like this. We get them to go out on the street and learn those skills. Now, would you all agree with me that's the best way to learn?
Yes.
Experience. Now, when those entrepreneurs go out on the street, we teach them how to speak to people, communicate. We teach them how to sell products. We teach them how to develop their brand. We teach them how to inspire and motivate a team of people working for them. And then when they are able to recruit that team successfully as affiliates, that brings more income to you guys. Does that sound something that you want to be involved in?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, now as an angel investor, you are in your armchair and the income is coming to you. If you want to be more involved, you can be more involved. It's really your choice. So you have an instant qualified database. And I can tell you, when you started your business, did you have a database? No. Would you agree with me? That's the hardest thing, but the most important thing. Everybody? Because it costs you money to acquire customers, guys. We already have customers, and our customers are growing because of our technology. Because when more people use naked dollars, what happens? When more people start using naked dollars to go on holiday, they start using naked dollars to buy Margaret River wine from this naked Japanese restaurant man here. When they start using naked dollars to go to the cinema, when they start using naked dollars to go for dinner, would you agree with me that their friends are going to see them doing that and go, what is that? Hello? Right. It's a viral, virtuous cycle, guys. Referral scheme. Because we guarantee that when people use our naked dollars, they will get all of those products cheaper than anywhere in the world they could get them. anywhere else. That's why people love that concept. We give people an instant sales team. So let's imagine that, by the way, has anyone here got an idea for a business? Anyone? No ideas tonight? No? Doesn't matter. You can probably see then that an idea is very important, right? So, as soon as someone has an idea and starts a business to deliver handbags to the door, designer handbags, half price to what you normally get, for example, okay? Basically, you have, as an entrepreneur, all the entrepreneurs all over the world to sell your product for you. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. And that's very powerful. The smartest use of capital, ready base of warm clients, self-growing distribution network, a winning loyalty component. Now, with any company, it's the people behind the company that make it grow. Would you agree with me? Anyone heard of Steve Jobs? Yes. So Steve Jobs said many things, and the most important thing he said is the one thing that separates successful people in business is perseverance. Would we all agree with that?
Yes.
To persevere despite any challenge, any hardship, no money, bankrupt, doesn't matter, start again. That's what separates people from losers and people that win. So, you know a little bit about me. You've seen my track record. I am not the most successful person in the world. I am not the richest person in the world. In fact, there might be people in this room that are richer and more successful than I am. But my track record proves I never give up. My track record proves I always go on despite the odds. You know, when I was a kid, I had to sleep on a park bench with my mum quite a lot. So I know what it's like having no money. But that taught me the benefit of working hard. Then we have a man called Stuart Ockenden who has known me for 25 years. Stuart is a massive travel industry maker. So he has agreed deals with Virgin Airlines, Singapore Airlines, Coca-Cola, lots of different brands around the world for travel. So he is heading up our travel section, Naked Travel, and that's very exciting because travel is a big thing. Would you all agree? Yes. And Stuart is the reason. Stuart at the back is the one with the pink shirt. He's growing shorter and Phil is growing taller. So Stuart is the one with the pink shirt, and he is the reason why you all have a free holiday tonight. Let's give him a round of applause for that, yeah? Then we have Mr. Philip Edmondson, who's at the back. He's the taller of the two, who look the same. Now, Phil I've known for 30. Phil I met when I was 18, right? That wasn't so long ago. That's 30 years ago. So Phil is our specialist in property investment. He finds the property, he finds it through research, finds the best performing properties around the world. Doesn't matter which country it is, as long as it performs. Right, then we have Mr. Malvindran, who we like to call God. He's our Superman in technology. So Malvin is developing our patented blockchain technology. So his background, he's worked for MNC, he's been on Wall Street, but his background is tech. So he's getting shorter by the stress of the software on his back. But he's a very important part of the team. Okay? The next person is Mr. Zachary Ong. He's also at the back. He's the youngest of the lot and the slimmest. Now, Zach is a graphic designer. I've known Zach for about 10 years, and now he is the president-elect at the World Body International Council of Design. Pretty impressive, right? Yeah. So he's going to be teaching the entrepreneurs how to brand, create the logo, how to get the value proposition across. That's the team, guys, and there is more of us as well. So in terms of mentors, you need people that are proven in business. Would you agree? Yeah. Those are the people that are going to teach you how to be successful. This is a question I ask people all the time if they want to start a business. Would you like me to give you money, or would you like me to train you, to mentor you?
Money.
So everybody says money. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you $100,000. What would you do with it if you were brand new in business? You don't know. That's the answer. You don't know because you have no experience.
No problem.
But if I gave you $100,000 worth of mentoring, would that change your success? No, because you're 20 years down the line, my friend. It's different for you. Startups don't have a clue how to run a business. That's the power of the rich list. So if you're not coached and trained or mentored, what are your chances of success? If you are not trained by a successful businessman or woman, what are your chances? Less or more? Come on.
Successful one.
Exactly. Employ, exactly, but you don't know how to do that yet. So we mentor the new person coming in to do that, right? So we pick you, we coach you, we mentor you, we qualify you, and then we fund you. That's how we do it. Does anyone like the sound of that? And that's what we're very excited about. So your funding level depends on your performance. The better you perform, the more capital we offer you for your business. And then you have a big team when you're funded. So you're able to keep your customers, grow your customers, and you have access to new customers, but you don't have a marketing cost because the technology brings you the customers. Hello? That makes sense, ladies and gentlemen? Right. So you only be able to reward your customers when they buy from you naked dollar incentives. We've got all the incentives, and then we add Margaret River wine, handbags, exactly, things like that. We give a value of naked dollars to your wine. So here's the income streams we're going to offer you today. We have a special deal for first people in today. We're going to give you 12% annual dividends paid quarterly. Is that good?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
You don't look very excited. I'm very excited. Something wrong with 12%? You have asset-backed shares with property. That means your shares own property right now. You have asset-backed shares with businesses. Your share own restaurant, own the travel agent, own all those businesses I shared before. And you have income from each entrepreneur when they generate more affiliates and sell more products. So here's the deal, guys. New IPO. One IPO retail price is $33,995. That would give you 10,000 shares from $1 million paid up capital. Okay? Double IPO, $67,995, 20,000 shares. This is pounds. What's happened to the pound in the last month? Right, the pound is at a 30-year low. Now is the best time to buy pounds.
Yes.
Hello? If you had done this 3 months ago, you would pay a rate of 2.2. Now it's 1.74. Right? That's the difference. So, what that means is you're going to save a lot more money doing it now. So, what are we going to do? We have 12 lots of IPO shares we're going to offer for this deal. So, the first in, I'm going to give you a $3,995 discount. So, today, for 10,000 shares, you're going to get that for £30,000. You pay a 25% deposit today, pay the balance in 7 days after looking at the share purchase agreement to make sure that what I'm saying tonight is down on black and white. Sound good?
Yes.
And then, if you look at the Singapore dollar rate, it's only 52,281 now. On a double IPO Pro, normally 67,995, you're going to save 7,995. Today, 60,000. Singapore dollars 104. 25% deposit. There's option 1 for 30,000. Single IPO. 10% annual cash return. Advisory panel. Option 2, £60,000. Dual listing. 12% cash flow. And look at the difference pre-Brexit. £30,000 would be 60,000 Singapore dollars. Now it's only 52. That's 1 month. Guys, it's not going to get much lower. No, seriously, I predicted Brexit, and I predicted pre-Brexit and post-Brexit. I predicted Theresa May would be Prime Minister. I make predictions based on economic research that 80% of the time come true. Right now, the UK is uncertain. That's why the pound is down. And right now, we are making trade deals directly with China, India, United States, Canada, Australia, blah, blah, blah. The pound will go up once those trade deals are announced in the very near future. Does anyone follow me?
Yes.
So, 100% exit strategy, full buyback guarantee share, purchase price at 36 months. So basically, you have very little risk because you've got a buyback guarantee, right? So we've got 12 lots available tonight at this price. I'm going to drop the price by $3,995 for a single IPO and double IPO by $7,995. Are there any questions? So let's just remind you the benefits today. Cash flow return, 12% per annum, paid quarterly, tax-free. Asset backed, the share you're buying owns property and businesses. Buyback guarantee, very little risk, exit strategy. Any questions? So I've got 12 I'm going to give today. 12 lots. Right? At that price. If you don't do it today, it goes to the normal price. And then we sell out. We've already raised 7 figures. We've already done the first round of seeding. Now this is the second round. So the first round was only 20,000, now it's 33. So we've got 12 lots. Please, fantastic, have a great time. Ask as many questions as you want. Ask our friends at the back, have a drink. But please, if you're interested in this, you've got this money lying around, get it done. Don't buy property in Singapore. Yet. Okay? So I've got 12 lots available, guys. Any questions you want to ask, please ask us at the back. Come and get your goodie bags. You can speak to Malvinder and speak to Phil, speak to Stuart, anyone you want. Speak to me, doesn't matter. So, 12 lots. Any questions, please ask. Go ahead and do your stuff. You can just do the registration form at the back. We'll pay you cash flow straight away. Get the date into your bank. Get your bank details. Only 25% deposit. Fantastic deal. What can I say?